Alright, we got another part of this crap here. This is where we splinted several videos for this part, because this is not the whole package. But, yeah, this is my package here. More gift card spending on the CDs. Like, this is quite, probably not so easy way to do it, but, I do have a few more that's coming in, so those will be shown eventually. But for now, I think we might as well just do what must be done. Yes. Alright. So, first off, for this here, I'll just do pictures of it first for each part. That would be absolutely lovely. Now, this is Shades of Deep Purple. This is the first album. This is the first album they ever made, the first one they did with Nick Simper, the first they did with Rod Evans. Yes, this came out in, I think, June of '68. So, yes, Deep Purple was around before Led Zeppelin was. But do I think Deep Purple was a heavy metal band? No. They weren't even close. But what I will say, however, is that they did start as a psychedelic rock band, so... Especially with the, this album is known for the cover of Hush. Prelude, I'm So Glad, which is a cover of a song from the 30s. I forget who did this song, but they do a really good interpretation of it. It's like really jazzy, really bluesy. It's really nice. So we have members by order of the band. We got Ian Pace on drums. You got John Lord on organ, Richie Blackmore on guitar, Nick Simper on bass, and Rod Evans on vocals. So that is... Funny enough, Nick Simper is not even in the Hall of Fame, even though I think Nick Simper is actually a pretty amazing bassist, in my opinion. His work on this album, the second one, especially Deep Purple 3, is pretty good. So now we're going to go to... now, we're going to unbox, we're going to take this out of the package now. Now, if I remember correctly, when I bought the book of Talisman, it actually did show the actual album cover on the other side, the one that you don't see in this case. So we're going to be taking a huge look at the book of Talisman, or should I say the Shades of Deep Purple. Now, some people call the book of Talisman Deep Purple 2. This is called Deep Purple 1. So yes. Now, I've always liked the Deep Purple psychedelic stuff. Like, I kind of consider like the psychedelic stuff and their hard rock stuff with Ian Gillan and Roger Glover like more like its own entity, because that's kind of what it is. So, or Mark 1, Mark 2. So here it is out of the CD case. Now the album cover is right here. This is the album cover. Shades of Deep Purple by Deep Purple. Now, why do they go by their name? Now, I think the name Deep Purple was based off of a song that Richie Blackmore listened to as a kid in his grandmother's turntable, which was called Deep Purple. I forget the name of it, but... Now, if I remember correctly, we switched this, and it's like we have a copy of it or something like that. Now, this came out in, like I said, June or July of '68, and then they released the Book of Talisman a few months later. And then they released Deep Purple in early 1969 album. And this is W.A.S.P's first album. And the answer is W.A.S.P. This came out in 1985. And if you really want to look at that time, so they released their first album in 1984. It blew up. It was really good. And believe it or not, the reason why I actually got this is because I do like some W.A.S.P. And believe it or not, one of my most influential drummers is on this album, Steve Riley. Some of you know him from LA Guns. He actually was on the second album from them, Cocked and Loaded and Hollywood Vampires, and especially all that. I mean, I'm not a fan of Hollywood Vampires, but I do like the fact that he is on the album. So 1985 glam metal album. So let's kind of look at it. Now, here are albums released in 1985: Invasion of Your Privacy by Rat, Under Lock and Key by Dokken, Asylum by Kiss, Come Out and Play by Twisted Sister, Night of the Crown by Icon, The Night to Rock by Keel, Theater of Pain by Motley Crue, 7800 Degrees Fahrenheit by Bon Jovi, Pantera's Eye on the Night, which is a album that they have disowned. Innocence is no excuse now, and then we also have one more, Midnight Dynamite by Kix, which also was released in the same year. So we do have a lot of albums. Also, I will also include Black and Blues Without Love, because I do like Kiss, so that's on there. So this is W.A.S.P's second album, The Last Command, which I actually do think is a great album. It has a song called Wild Child. Why do I always hear the song Wild Child on a fucking album? Like, seriously. Now, I was actually set to see W.A.S.P. last year. I did think about seeing them. I didn't buy a ticket, but I eventually decided I was going to go see Mayhem for their 40th anniversary tour before they pulled the plug on it, because one of the band members had to require emergency surgery. I don't know who it was who had emergency surgery, but you guys can probably make a guess of who I think it was. But yeah, so I saw Iron Maiden at the Barclays with my brother, and then W.A.S.P. actually played there a few weeks after that. So yeah, I missed a really good opportunity to see them live, and that's something I don't like. So, but I do like is that they actually just have like the flap, like the ones that Motley Crue have. So now my opinion on W.A.S.P. W.A.S.P. is probably one of the pristine glam metal bands, especially when you look at, you know, bands like, you know, Kix and Dokken and, you know, all of those. Yes, Motley Crue is not my favorite glam metal band. It's actually W.A.S.P., which is quite interesting. So yes, there is a lot to say about this one. So like I said, this is Steve Riley. This was Steve Riley's first time he was on the album. Now, he did play on the second record, and he played on a live record, and then he ditched to play with LA Guns. And I actually don't know what he did before he played with W.A.S.P., but it was probably something. Or he played some Steam Wolf knockoff, but I don't really see any reference to that whatsoever. So, yes. Now, this is Blackie Lawless, and he actually grew up in the Bronx, which has happened where my father grew up. So, here is the booklet. And it also has a bunch of live shit, such as Mississippi Queen, Savage, On Your Knees, Hell On, Sleeping in the Fire, Animal, Fuck Like a Beast, and I Want to Be Somebody. Especially Mississippi Queen. You know, I really like mountain climbing, but I don't really fucking care about the covers. You know, Motley Crue's Helter Skelter is okay, but, and this is the result here. Now, I forget one of the band members' names, but if I remember correctly, Blackie Lawless, Chris Holmes, Steve Riley, and I forget who else was on here. Randy Piper. So, here's how you look at it. Blackie Lawless, Chris Holmes, Randy Piper, Steve Riley. So, nothing else to report. Now, I did mention Pantera, Eye on the Night. My last video I showed you the vinyls I got, the bootleg vinyls of Metal Magic and Eye on the Night, funny enough. I had to get it. I also going to be using in this video, I will also be buying the Power Metal CD bootleg. I decided to buy it instead of doing the vinyl because I think it's just kind of interesting. I just wanted to do that. So here is now. So as you guys do know, I do have the 3 bootleg records, and then I also have Far Beyond Driven. I have the two CD version of this Cowboys from Hell. So I do have Cowboys from Hell and Far Beyond Driven on CD. I do have a Power Metal CD coming in. It's bootleg, but I don't really care. And then now we have Vulgar Display of Power. So, you know, and it's quite funny because something I noticed about most of their LPs, especially all of their 9 LPs, they have the name Metal on 3 of their albums: Metal Magic, Power Metal, and Vulgar Display. And, you know, it's like those 2, right? And then you also have power metal, and vulgar display of power. Don't you guys actually ever think that? It's kind of weird, right? They have the name metal and then power on their name of their LPs. So think about it. It's interesting. They are the groovy power metal band. It's fucking weird. Reissue power metal. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's just kind of get to the point of this. I am far beyond the metal projects. I am far beyond the metal power projects. Cowboy, Southern, Southern Cowboys, whatever, I don't fucking know. Vulgar display of power. Alright. Alright. Now, these are the original versions. And look at that, it has Philip Henson Osama on here. And you can actually still go by Diamond Daryl. Interesting enough. So, Vincent Abbott, we got Rex Brown. It still goes by the name fucking Rex. Diamond Daryl Abbott, and then Philip Anselmo. So let's just kind of go this again. I am far beyond the metal projects. I am far beyond the metal projects. Trend kill of steel. I am far beyond. Let's do it one more time. I am far beyond the power metal projects. I am far beyond the power metal projects. Trend kill of Cowboy Steel. There, I came up with the name of all 9 albums. I put them all together in one fucking name. I kind of thought about the compilation that they released, where they released all their shit from those 97. Say, hey, this is all our shit. Listen to it. Yeah, but I also added the 80s stuff into it. So if you like the name, like the description below. It's great, it's fun. But anyway, yeah. So now I will be getting the Megadeth final album issue. So anyway, this is the end of the video. First, Shades of Deep Purple, W.A.S.P, the Last Command, and the Pantera's Vulgar Display of Power. Albums that came out in 1992 in the metal scene. There's a lot that came out in the metal scene that year, wasn't it? Countdown to Extinction is one of them, right? Yes, we got Countdown to Extinction. We got Dehumanizer, if that's another one. Those are 2 I do know of. A Blazing Northern Sky by Dark Throne. The Crimson Idol by W.A.S.P. Imagines and Words by Dream Theater. Now, Fear the Dark by Iron Maiden. The Law by Exhorder. Double Eclipse by Hardline. The Triumphant Steel by Man of War. Pure by Godflesh. Legion by Decide. Dog Eat Dog by Warrant, which, I mean, Warrant sucks, to be honest with you. Tomb of the Mutilated by Camel Corpse, which is a band I actually do not like, which is quite interesting. I don't know why I'm saying this. And especially Kiss's Revenge, La Sextosito, Devil Music by Rob Zombie, and last I will do this one on the end, Gwar, which made the album America Must Be Destroyed. And I do agree with that sentiment. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and so yeah, see you guys in the next part.